Hello my yogi friends, my name is Natasha. Welcome to Creative Sequence Power Yoga Flow. It tends to be about an hour and we have 2 warm-up or drill sequences followed by a long class flow and then a shorter ending flow. We will most likely not repeat the class flow today, but look out for just the flow where I don't break anything down. We just go through the whole entire sequencing, right side, left side. It's usually about 20 to 25 minutes. And for those of you that just want to hit the sequencing again and don't need to take a full hour class or don't have time for a full hour class. All right, we're gonna start in a supine position, laying on our back. You might want to grab a block or 2 today for your practice. We do have a triangle pose, some skandasana reaches. So if you have tighter hips or hamstrings, we also have a standing split and an opportunity to try flying pigeon prep or flyer pigeon. So maybe 2 blocks for that if your hips are tight like mine, or you just need the ground a little higher in arm balances. All right, water, towel, your yoga mat, your body, and let's get ready to move. Come meet me on your mat, laying down. You can start with your knees bent, your feet a little wide, and then allow your knees to knock in. Maybe lift your tailbone, tuck, and root into your sacrum, the small of the back. You can rest a hand on your heart and a hand on your belly, and then make sure you are on the back of your skull. You're relaxing into your space. It almost feels like your chin is up, but we are going to allow the lips to part, the eyes to soften, forehead, jaw, tongue, rooting into the feet, the sacrum, the shoulders, the skull. Letting go of any distractions around you, distractions in your mind, setting that intention to move intuitively and listen to your body. It's always okay to modify, take breaks, skip shapes that don't feel good for you, or if you're feeling great, to amplify and really push yourself and see where the breath and the poses can take you. That might be different from one day to the other, from one pose to the next. We'll take a few deep breaths together. Inhale deeply, and then sigh it out. Inhale, deep breath. Feel like you are filling a balloon into your belly, sides, and back in that expansion. And on the exhale, just imagine that stale air leaving the body. You can make an audible sound exhaling through the mouth. And then perhaps changing that breath to nose breathing, Ujjayi pranayama breath. Hope you can't hear that loud wind outside. On your exhale, you are going to make your own sound like the wind or the ocean, feeling a restriction or vibration on the back of the throat. Feeling an engagement on the core as you engage and push out to the bottom of the breath. Just trying to match those inhales to exhales. A few rounds on your own. You could count to 4 or just a feeling. Beautiful. Let's send your arms right up into the sky, and then your feet will do the same. We're going to flex and point, fingers and toes, cracking in the wrists and the ankles maybe. Feeling all those little cracks and pops and just exaggerating the movement, waking up the ankles, feet, fingers, wrists. And then we'll make a fist and circle outside, intentional moving. Reverse, circle inside. And then like you're flicking water off your fingers and toes, go ahead and bounce your knees and flick out. Open, close the fingers, rooting down into that small of the back for 4. Faster, it gets hard. 3, 2, one, give yourself a nice big hug, pulling your knees into your chest, and you can make some massaging circles around the spine to the right a few times. Almost like these little bicep curls activating as you pull the knees in and away, and then just massaging and kind of lingering in any sticky spots you need a massage. If it's low down by the tailbone, drop your feet. If you want to get up a little higher into the mid-back, tuck your knees, lift your tailbone off the mat. Nice, we'll take a happy baby, maybe grab your ankles or your feet, prime the knees towards your rib cage, dropping into your shoulders and dropping that tailbone back. Little compression, softness and engagement. You could take a gentle straddle there, whatever you want to do. Feet together, grab your ankles, little Supta Baddha Konasana, butterfly. All right, let's tuck our chin forward. We're gonna start to activate our core muscles for some little abdominal work and some bridge work. Holding here, can you let go? Keep the soles of the feet together, and then put those feet down, roll into a low glute bridge. Arms can land over the head. Squeezing into those hamstrings, glutes, pulling the ribs down and the hips up. Even activating your adductors, your inner thighs, pulling towards one another, but keeping distance in the knees. Roll down, take the soles of the feet together, and then reach up into a C curve roll. And feet down, hips thrust up, squeeze. You could add a little soft pulse, a couple times here, and then a couple little pulses in your butterfly crunch. 4, 3, 2, let's do that one more time. Feet down, hips up, maybe pulse, or you can hold. 3, 2, lifting high and rolling down and finding that crunch. Pulse, 4, 3, 2, hold it up. Now cross your right leg over your left, cow face. Can you grab onto your feet or your ankles and then feel those hips start to externally rotate to the sides. Take a breath there. Support the head, bring your elbows wide, and then we'll take some cow face crunches. Elbow to knee, left toe to ground, crunch, open, crunch, open, and crunch. All right, grab onto your feet. We're gonna try to rock up to seated. It might be hard with tight hips. Rock it up, and then tuck your feet behind you and try to stack your knees. You might not be able to. It might look more like a half Lord of the Fish with your knee high above the left knee, your right knee high. Or if your hips are very open, maybe they're nice and stacked. No judgment, just find both sit bones grounding and a lengthening in the spine. Sit up nice and tall. You can take some gentle head circles here. And we'll take some cat-cow. Cactus your elbows back, heart forward. And then curl elbows to knees again, round the spine, puff out through the back of the heart, open and close, open and close. Go ahead and sit up nice and tall again. And we're gonna take those feet out to boat pose. Untangle and hold here. Maybe a modified boat with bent knees to start until we lengthen out our hamstrings a little bit more. If you're feeling great there, you could straighten. And hold. We're gonna take some windshield wipers, bring those feet about shoulder width apart, and start to move your knees right to left. Now it's a little bit harder without the help of your hands. If you need, you can bring your hands behind you and then swish the knees from right to left. We're gonna hang out on the right side. Bring your palm about 6 inches back from your hips and thrust your hips up. Little kneeling wild thing. And side bend to your left. Right arm over the ear. Maybe your hand to your foot. All right, so we got the hip thrust, lift, and we got the side stretch, bend. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, side stretch. Beautiful. Bring those hands behind you and see if you can widen your feet to more of 290-degree angles. Maybe. It's a pretty deep twist, so just explore. It might be more at the diagonal instead of directly behind you. We're going to try to work into the forearms. Again, it's okay if you're not quite to the back of your mat, but you're more angled, and you can always readjust your hips to get more comfortable. Feel that big twist in the spine and take a breath. And then we will take a forearm plank right here facing the back by straightening out your left foot, tucking those toes, and unwinding your right foot. Forearm plank. Squeeze your quads, your shoulders, your core, belly to spine. 4, breathe, 3, 2, and 1. The right knee's gonna come back underneath, land right where you came from, and go ahead and curl yourself right back home, knees up, boat pose. Beautiful job. We'll repeat that same sequencing on the other side. So let's go ahead and drop into a low boat, and then a happy baby. Take a breath here, maybe it's a straddle. All right, let's go right into cow face. So cross your left leg over your right and see if you can grab your feet or your ankles, depending on how tight your hips are. Oh, pretty intense to grab your feet, maybe for some of you, like me with tight hips. All right, sweep your hands behind your head, and we'll take those cow-faced crunches. Right toes tap, elbow to knee, head down, crunch it up. Tap the toe and elbows back. 4, 3, 2, hold it up, grab those feet, and see if you can rock yourself to seated cow. It might take a couple tries, and then it might be a little tricky to tuck those feet behind you. So just do the best you can. We're never forcing our bodies in any shape. Again, if you have tight hips, your knee is gonna be up. If you have nice open hips, maybe you have one knee directly stacked, left knee over right. See where you can be and take some breaths here. And while you're here, lengthening the spine, you can do a couple neck circles, side to side. Cactus cow into your cat. So we'll take a back bend, cow cactus, exhale, curl, tuck, open, and close, and open, heart proud, and tuck, round the spine. Beautiful. You can go ahead and sit up again, and we'll untangle those legs to either that modified bent knee boat or a nice tall boat. Maybe even arms up, connecting to the breath. Good. Just to loosen up those hips before we go, or your hip flexors, before we go into windshield wipers, you can take a little reverse table. Hands a little bit away from the body, hips up, heart up, dropping head or keeping head neutral. Squeezing your glutes, inner thighs, breath, and sit. All right, either with your hands down or some down and then some up. Windshield wiper, hips left to right, internal, external rotation. A lot of hips today, even though that is not my favorite. Sometimes you gotta work on the hard stuff. Hang out to the left, and we'll take our left hand behind the hip for that kneeling wild thing lift. And then side stretch, right hand to right foot, side bend, left arm over the ear. And back and forth 2 more times. Inhale, little heart opener, back bend, side stretch to your right. Inhale, hip thrust, and exhale, side crunch. And we get to twist. Walk your hands to the back of your mat. Don't be afraid to shift your hip more to the middle of the mat. And then try to pull your feet and knees a little bit away from each other. two 90 degrees or two 45-degree angles. Connect to the breath, and then make your way down to your forearms. You could even scoot more to the back so your feet stay on the mat for forearm plank. But stay here for a couple rounds of breath, feeling that big twist through the spine. Make sure your elbows are under your shoulders. You have a nice support for your forearm plank. Extend your right toes, knee down, and then left. Hold it here in your forearm plank. Can you protect your shoulders, tuck your tailbone, tone that front body, belly, quads. Tuck your tailbone, squeeze your glutes a little bit. Now your left knee tucks across, right knee bends, and we travel back around home. Meet me in that boat pose, and let's move on. So we have two little warm-up flows. That was our first part. Now we'll do some other drills. We'll come to standing and some down dog drills. Pull your feet in and meet me in Malasana Yogi Squat. Of course, you can use your hands if you need to get there. Prying your knees apart with your elbows, try to lengthen your heart forward, softening through those hips. Possibly high heels, low heels. Again, kind of a little swooshing side to side. Tiptoe and sink. We can also grab our opposite ankle, curl our chin down, round here. Breathe. And then reach up. Lengthen. All right, meet me in forward fold. Toes forward, hips up, head heavy here. Shake out the head. Soften the knees and straighten, bend and straighten. Exploring the hanging and lengthening of your spine and the active engagement through your quads, maybe, to find the length in the hamstrings. Again, no force, just playing here. You could grab your opposite elbow and do some swaying side to side. We're gonna bend our knees generously like we are in a chair squat, and find your hands behind your back. Can you lift your arms over your shoulders by squeezing shoulder blades? And then work on that sitting, maybe straightening, only to where you can. One more time, bend and straighten. All right, keeping the bind, soft knees, flat back rise. And bend your left elbow, hook your fists around your right hip. Take a breath here. We're gonna turn our gaze to the left and just keep wrapping your right hands around your hands around your right hip bone, keeping your left hip forward so the hips stay square. And then we'll release our ear to our shoulder and start to push your hips to the right and lean to the left. Kind of exploring a big neck release here. You can do a little nod. And lengthen. Other side, bend your right elbow, kind of wiggle your hands around to your left hip bone, starting by taking your gaze to the right, keeping your hips square, connecting to that breath, and then dropping your right ear to your shoulder, little nod, and possibly jetting your hips to the left and just kind of leaning to the right. And again, maybe a little nod. Lengthen tall, release those hands, and give yourself a loving pat on the back, crisscrossing those arms a few times there. All right, anything you need to do, throw your hair up, grab some water, maybe some little gentle vibration bounces like you're doing a little jump rope, whatever is calling you here. And we're gonna go into our sun salutation, which is a little bit different today. So I do want you to come back about a third of the way down the top of your mat, so you can drop your knees forward for a camel ustrasana in the sun salutation. All right, so give yourself a little bit of space in front of you and meet me in mountain pose. Spread your toes, spread your fingers, pull your knees up by toning the quads, tucking the tailbone. Inhale to back bend, heart up, squeeze your glutes. glutes and hips forward. Let gravity take you. And then swan dive. Soft knees, melting forward fold, Uttanasana. And here's where we're gonna dip into a toe stand. Pull your hands forward. Give yourself space to pull the knees in between your biceps. Balance into a toe stand. All right, really safely, we're gonna lower our knees to the mat by rocking your shoulders back and dropping those knees off. And then pulling up to camel. Cactus the elbows, squeeze your glutes, just like another back bend like we did standing. Bring your hands, framing your knees, and from here you can jump back to plank. Nice big plank at the top of your mat. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Let's try 3. Here's 2. And 1, upward facing dog or cobra. And you can stay on the tops of your feet, or you can you can roll to the top of the feet, or you can keep the toes tucked under. Shoulders down, heart through. Active back. And find me in downward facing dog. Pedaling out your down dog, spreading and gripping your fingers into the mat, swooshing your hips and heels, side to side. Beautiful job. Take a couple moments here. And our little drill work, we're gonna take our right knee to our left elbow in a plank twist. Lower and twist. Then step back, left hand to right foot or ankle, down dog twist. 2 more. Left hand down, right knee, left elbow, plank twist. Down dog, left hand reaches back, down dog twist. Peek out through under your armpit here. Last one, plank twist, down dog twist. All right, left hand down, right leg up. Bend the knee, stack the hip, pop onto your right fingertips, optional, or float your right hand for a breath. Then that right foot is gonna replace the hand, oops, I didn't mean to fall, for lizard lunge. Step to the right side of the mat. You can release that back foot and then just explore your lizard by swaying your hips and shoulders from side to side, as well as heart forward, rock back, half split, lizard. So your own exploration. Maybe knife edge rocks to the pinky toe edge, externally rotating the hip and then squeezing it in. And then also we are gonna take a twist. Right arm up. Right here you can circle out your wrist and maybe some big circles in the shoulder. Perfect. All right. Tuck your back toes under, elevate the knee. One more time, twisting lizard. Now take your gaze and arm forward, kick through. Left leg curls in, knee in, and sit. We'll reach our right fingers to our left toes and gently fold nose towards knee or wherever you can fold to. And rise. All right. Your left fingers are going to come up towards the left corner of your mat, and I'm going to have you rotate your right knee and toes off the right side of your mat. As we come back from the kick through, lift your hips. It's going to be lounging lizard. Thread the foot back and land on the side of your left hip and leg. It's okay to adjust your hand. Your hand should be pretty far, at least a foot away from your body, so you have space to lounge here. And you have a nice side stretch in the left body, the left side. All right, 3 lifting side planks using your right foot and the pinky toe edge of your left foot to rise, cinch the bottom waist, and sit. 2 more. Side plank stretch. And sit on this one, hold it up, Spin over your left shoulder, crawl it around, reset your right foot, Skandasana. Right foot towards the top of the mat. I'm not mirroring you, so just listen to the cues now. Palms to heart, sit low. Reach your fingers towards the top of the mat in a diagonal. Shift the left knee, the back knee bends, your head falls through. Skandasana side to side, right knee, front knee bends, palms to heart, prayer hands. Reaching hands, left knee, back knee bends. One more time. Right knee, front knee, Skandasana. Maybe reaching arms forward, and then reach your arms to the top of your mat and shift your back knee bends. We're gonna crawl all the way to seated. Try to sit behind your left heel. Use your hands if you need. All right, so now we're in a seated Skandasana. Left shoulder inside the knee. Open into a big diagonal and let your left ear fall towards that bottom shoulder, towards your lifted knee. All right, spin open. Now, your back knee is gonna internally rotate, half hero facing the top of your mat. Open it up, make that diagonal, reach your arms apart, drop your head heavy, and then spin forward, half hero. All right, you can readjust so you're sitting on both sit bones. And we're gonna try to bind your hands behind your back and fold. This is very intense on the right hamstring, so feel free to bend your right knee a little bit and fold towards that knee. If you have very open hamstrings, you can straighten the knee and try to dip forward there. Soft knee is probably better. Into a little back bend, push your fists down, lift your heart. And one more time into that fold. Arms up. Oh, release your hands and unwind. Left foot stepping down. We're gonna do that little reaching wild thing with a split leg this time and your left foot down. I don't have a lot of space, but you're gonna lift your hips and then reach, maybe even straighten both legs. So I'm gonna leave that up to you. I don't have the space to go further. And sit. Now externally rotate the left knee and hip. Switch hands and lift onto the left knee. You're now in a modified side plank. All right, we got some crunches. Right elbow to knee, 3. Here's 2. Top knee. Now, bottom knee crunches. If you can, this one's harder. You're going into a full side plank for 3, for 2. Hold this one. Grab your ankle, put your foot down, come back to your Skandasana. Did you make it through that? Moving into triangle. Shift your toes forward, straight arms, straight legs, perhaps a block. Stacking shoulders, ribs, and hips, tuck your tailbone. Connect to the breath here. Moving into reverse warrior. You might need more space. Hop back a little bit, bend your front knee, reverse. Connect to the breath. Feel the right side stretch. Engage through that glute here. Twisting lunge. Left arm swings forward, right arm swings back, lift your back heel. Pull your arms apart, scissor your inner thighs. Connect to the breath. Exalted twist, reach it up. Maybe grab onto something with your right hand, your hamstrings, or just pull those arms apart. All right, now we get some standing balances. We're almost done here. Look forward. Take a hamstring curl. Can you get your foot with both hands, heel to butt, hips forward? Eagles next. Left foot, left leg crosses over the right. Left arm crosses under the right. You could modify by touching your left toes to the ground or go for that double tuck wrap. Sink a little bit and we add the crunch. Elbow to knees, a lot of elbow to knees again. Crunch it down, stretch it up. Beautiful. All right, release your hands, grab onto your ankle, And see if you can pull your heel to your right hip bone, and then drop your left knee. This tree variation is just to open up our hips for figure 4, and then possibly a flying pigeon prep, or we can fly. I'm gonna prep it out today. This is my bad hip too, or less flexible, I would say. All right, from here, let your ankle fall to your quad and sit in your chair for figure 4. Really sit back and feel the hip rotating and opening. Here's where you might need blocks if you have tight hips. We're gonna make our way to a fold, and then getting nice and low until you can bring your hands to the ground. You might hop your foot back for the space. All right, so either in the fold with your figure 4, start to pull your left knee to your left tricep, and your right toes will wrap around your elbow or your bicep arm. And then you can just rock into the fingers. You could stay here, you could hug your heel in like crow, or you could fly that right leg away. All right, go ahead and take some time to work on that for a couple rounds of breath, exploring that positioning. So again, let me show you the front view. From your figure 4, you're trying to make a shelf for your shin here. And then maybe you lean far enough forward where you can float the right foot or fly the right foot if that's in your practice. If you have tight hips, it's hard to get that leg to stay in that deep external rotation. All right, just to reset, since we did the arm balance, maybe come into Malasana or any kind of yogi squat to counter stretch and relax the wrists. Palms upside down, fists, fingers backwards. You can also come into gorilla where you step on the hands and massage those toes into the wrists and palm. And release, and we'll ragdoll all the way up to standing. All right, so long class flow today, which is why we are not gonna repeat it, but we are gonna repeat it on the second side right now. When you get to just the flow, we'll really just flow one breath, one movement, and not take our time and break things down. But we will do the whole thing, the 2 warm-up flows, the long sequence and the short sequence, in just the flow. So look out for that next. All right, meet me in Tadasana. Again, anything you want to do here. Vibration bounces. Any stretches, shoulders, hips, ankles, wrists, and then meet me, remember, a little bit back from the top of the mat for your sun salutation. Meet me in a strong mountain, Tadasana. Tuck your tailbone, maybe close the eyes. Feel your heart rate beating, especially if you just flew your pigeon. Let's move. Inhale to your back bend, press into your toes, squeeze your glutes, heart up. Swan dive, forward fold. Soften in. Reach your fingers forward. Lift your heels, toe stand balance. Hips or knees forward, shoulders back, soft landing on the knees, Ustrasana back bend. Hips down, hands down, jump back through flow. Chaturanga or plank chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog, exhale. Wiggle, sway, bicycle or pedal out your feet. Press into your toes, press into your fingers, chest towards toes. Big breath. Here we go. Left knee to right elbow, plank twist, hold. Step back, right hand to left ankle, twist, hold. 2 more, plank twist. Down dog twist. Last one, plank, left knee across. Foot down, right hand reaches across. Put your right hand down, lift your left leg up. Bend the knee, stack the hip, maybe fingertip to your left fingers, or try to float for a moment. And then step into lizard lunge. Release your knee and foot. Explore by rocking side to side. Explore by shifting heart forward and rocking back to half split, lizard, half split. And also by peeling out to the knife edge of the foot, rocking the hip open and zip, open. And moving into your twist, left arm up. You can circle your wrist while you're here, melt your right hip bone down. Squeeze your glutes a little bit. And some big shoulder circles. We have our kick through. Meet me in your twisted lunge. Tuck your toes, lift your knee, kick the right foot, knee in, foot through. Keep your hand and foot where they are and reach into your fold. You can bend your right elbow, grab your foot or whatever's there, nose to knee, and rise. All right, to set up for lounging, take your left toes off the side, to the side of your mat, and your right fingers to the diagonal top of your mat, so we can lift, thread the foot to the back, and softly melt to lounging lizard. You're on the right side of your hip and leg, pinky toe down. Explore that side body stretch by melting into the shoulder. And then when we lift, you push the shoulder down, side plank, hips up, reach, and lower. Reach, and melt, and reach. Now, spin to Skandasana, and don't be afraid to readjust where your foot is, where your feet are. Hands to heart. Now, reaching Skandasana, fingers diagonal, pulling to the front of your mat, shift into the back knee, let your head fall heavy. 2 more. Front knee bends, balance, palms to heart, flat back. Reaching Skandasana, back knee, melt. Front knee, hands to heart. Fingers reach, back knee, head heavy. Moving all the way into seated to the back knee. Use your hands if you need to. Put your right shoulder inside your knee and stretch your arms in a diagonal. Drop your ear, right ear to right shoulder. Internally rotate the right knee forward, and you're in this half hero. Open, spread your wings, diagonal reach, pull that knee away from the body, and then internally rotate, readjust so you're in half hero. This shouldn't bother your knee. If it does, change the position. You can have both feet forward. All right, take your hands behind your back into your bind. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Remember, you can start with the left knee bending and fold into it because it's pretty intense. If you're really flexible, straighten and fold. And then back bend, heart up, hands down. Squeeze your shoulder blades, forward fold, arms up. And we rise. Release those hands, open up the knee. Take your left hand back, lift your hips, little wild thing, maybe straighten both knees or keep the right knee bent. Have a seat. Now externally rotate the right knee, switch hands, lift onto the right shin. And you can scoot that knee back to center. For that modified side plank, we have our top knee to elbow crunches. 3, 2, 1. Then harder, bottom knee if you can. 3, crunch 2. On 1, stay up, grab your ankle, and put your foot down, back to Skandasana, floating into Trikonasana triangle. Shift forward, straighten, and lengthen. And again, if you need a block, grab that block. Pull your arms apart, stack shoulders, ribs, and hips. Tuck your tailbone. Try not to slouch, but pull equally apart. Connecting to the breath. Reverse warrior, bend your front knee and recline. If you need more space, wiggle or hop back. Twisting lunge. Take your right hand forward, left arm back, windmill, pick up your back heel, scissor your inner thighs and pull those arms apart. Exalted twist. Reach your right arm up, either arms in an L or reach behind your hamstring or back. Feel that right quad and hip flexor. All those standing balances, look forward, step forward, hamstring curl. Can you grab your foot with both hands? Hug your heel to your butt, knees towards one another, and then eagle, Garudasana. Right leg crosses over, right arm crosses under. Either toes can cheat on the ground or double tuck. Elbows high and then crunch low. Elbows to knee. Round the spine and then lengthen, lift your elbows. Balance. Release your arms. Grab your ankle and zip that heel towards left hip bone. Let your knee peel towards the earth. Little tree variation, half lotus. And slide the ankle down. Sit in your figure four chair. All right, really explore the hip opening so that maybe you can explore the flying pigeon prep or flying pigeon. Let's see if I can do this one. If you need more space, scoot back. All right, in your figure four, you can start with a fold and then maybe a toe stand or just a chair. And if your hips are tight, walk your hands far enough away where you can still reach the ground. Then make the shelf and pull your knee or your shin to your right tricep, and then your foot's gonna wrap around. Lean forward, maybe lift your left leg, maybe fly. So if your hips are tight, your right foot's gonna fall right off. By keeping the knee bent, you can keep them locked together. Once you fly, you need those open hips and your toes curling into your arm to hold on. So work on that. Haven't done this one in a while, so let's see what I can do. Wherever you are, come down to a yogi squat. Counter the stretches, counter stretches for the wrists. Take some deep breaths. Might be a good place for a sip of water, maybe a child's pose. We just have the last little mini flow to add on. Couple breaths in child's pose. We will get to play with some inversions. So if you are someone that loves to handstand, or maybe you need a wall, you could do the handstand hops against the wall, or you could keep them very low. They don't have to be full hops, all right? So go ahead and meet me in forward fold to a little standing split. Spread your fingers about a foot in front under your shoulders and then lift the left leg. Again, it doesn't have to be a split, but we're gonna work on jumping off of our right foot by bending and then hopping. And we're gonna push our shoulders down. We're gonna spread and grip into the mat and try to tuck your tailbone, shoulders over the hips, only if you feel stable there. And then you can hold or you can continue to do some hops. Lower your right foot and then left toes and knee land and meet me in this 90-90 lunge. We're gonna float back to a half camel by tucking your toes. This might be more accessible to reach your fingers to your heels. back bend, and now a standing split. Toes up, head heavy. You can grab your ankle, one or two, pulling your legs apart. Great, step your left foot far back so we can plank tuck, knee into the chest, and we can take a dolphin split by dropping to your elbows, reaching up through the right toes. Here's your next chance for an inversion. You can either do some jumps off your left foot, or some jump switches, or some pincha work. Wherever you are, meet me in forearm plank, this time facing the top of your mat. And meet me in Sphinx with your hips down, your heart forward, shoulders down, puff the chest forward. Take some breaths. All right, last little piece of the flow. Just for fun, we're gonna do a bow, and we're gonna try to rock side to side in your bow today. Pull your elbows out, hamstring curl your heels in, and reach back for your feet. It's gonna get hard to talk, so just listen up. Heels in, quad stretch, and then lift your hips, lift your feet, your chest. All right, we're gonna take, and we're gonna soften the shape, and then roll to your right shoulder, externally rotating. Drop your ear down and pull your feet behind you. Puff your belly and chest forward. Come on back. Bow. Soften. Rock to your left shoulder, and then pull your feet away from you. Engage the back body, and stretch the front body, and come on back. Good, release it. You can press up through plank if you'd like. And we can lower into child's pose. Beautiful job. Feel free to stay in child's pose. If you're feeling super strong and you want to try a baby crow, from here, bring your elbows under your shoulders, tuck your toes, and then try to hop your knees into your triceps or armpits. Lift your hips and lean. All right, so you can even rock into it. Shoulders down, heels to butt. Squeeze your belly, hamstrings, shoulders, and relax. All right, that's our final piece. Let's do that on the other side. Again, maybe a sip of water, a child's pose, some relaxing breaths. Obviously, you can just take this to your own level. If you can't do the inversions, you can just practice baby hops. You can skip them, all the things. If you have inversions, play. Maybe make different handstand shapes, different pincha shapes. Maybe you're working on baby crow to pincha press, crow to handstand, as someone told me in the comments. Whatever you're working on, let me know, because I probably made a tutorial for it. I have the crow to handstand tutorial that I made quite a few years back. All right, relax your wrists, circle them out, and we'll start in that forward fold to handstand hops. Jump onto your feet. This time your right leg is gonna lift up. Hands walk out a little bit in front of you, as much room as you need for your hamstrings. And then watch yourself kind of hop off your left toes. You're pushing down, no saggy elbows, shoulders up by the ears and mat, and either taking a bunch of little hops, or if you get a hold, exploring that hold. When you're ready, left toes, right toes back, knee down, 90-90 lunge, spiral, half camel back bend. Standing split. Rock back to your left foot, this time squeezing your glutes. Maybe ankle grab, balance. step way back, hands frame toes, left knee tucks, plank tuck. Lower onto your elbows, lift your left leg, dolphin split. Hold here, little hops, hop switches, or pincha. Maybe pincha to baby crow. Wherever you are, meet me in forearm plank, or you can always continue to play, and then meet me in Sphinx. Connect to the breath. You can make little neck circles, and we'll do those rolling bow poses. All right. I'm not really going to talk you through it. So we'll rock onto our left shoulder and then our right shoulder. Make your bow your best expression or whatever it's calling you for the day. Lift, soften, roll, pull. And you can stay or you can float from side to side. Let your head be heavy there. Pull your feet back, puff your chest and hips forward. Come back. And chaturanga. Upward facing. Child's pose. You have your option for baby crow or maybe full crow or crane. Whenever you're done exploring those moves, meet me in boat. Circle out your wrists, and we are going to end with some eagle crunches. Right leg over left, rock back, right arm under left, elbow to knee and open, crunch, open, crunch, tap. You can do as many as you like. Crunch and crunch. Good. Lady legs, lift your hips. Release your hands. Lift your leg. Of course, you can turn this into a wheel, one leg or two. Roll down. Rock up. Boat. Left leg over right, either double cross or not. Roll back, left hand under. And you start those crunches. 4, 8, whatever you like. Elbow to knee, maybe toes and fingers to mat. Or they can be tight crunches, smaller move, or full range. All right, untangle, still in the lady legs. Right foot down, lift your hips. Release your hands. Maybe lift your left leg, hips up higher. Again, you could go for a wheel if that's in your practice. Or maybe both feet down, bind, wiggle shoulders, lift hips. And whenever you're ready, come on out. Give yourself a hug. Those little circles on the spine. And we'll end right where we started. Feet wide, knees knock in. Tuck your tailbone, lift your shoulders, lift your chin. Come onto the back of your skull. Hand on heart, hand on belly. And of course, if you would like more time to play and explore, feel free. Otherwise, give yourself at least 2 to 3 minutes in stillness, scanning the body, the mind, allowing yourself to reap the benefits of all that hard work and give yourself the gratitude you deserve for putting in that effort today, rolling out your mat, doing something healthy for your mind and body. Take as long as you'd like here in your Shavasana. You deserve the rest, and rest is productive. I'm gonna leave you here today. I'd love a pink heart in the comments. If you made it to the end with me, I'll know you are here and I can thank you personally. From the bottom of my heart, the light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your practice. Let me know how it went. Like, shares, comments, all the YouTubey things. Subscribe, maybe become a member. I'll see you next time. Bye.